Hello everyone, I am Putri Kharisma with shoe number 257 and I'm not alone here, I'm with my friends Zabrina Nurfadhila with student number 149 and Salsa Aruba with student number 254 and we are from Translation 2023C class and we will present the material with the topic Translating Idioms. And this presentation is based on a research article that analyzes how idioms are translated from English to Indonesian. So, check it out. For the source, we use the article by the title The Translation of Idioms from English into Indonesian, the case of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by Margaret Tida Kalika Krisandini and Adi Sutrisno in 2021. Published in Lexicon Journal of English Language and Literature as our source. And this study investigates 270 idioms found in the novel and their Indonesian translations. The authors analyze how these idioms are translated by applying Mona Baker's idioms translation strategies. And the study found that translation by paraphrase is the most frequently used strategy, applied to 82.2% of the idioms. We go to the background of the theory. So in her book, In Other Words, Mona Baker introduces a theory that focuses on the difficulties of translating idiomatic expressions due to their figurative and culture-specific nature. Idioms are described as frozen patterns of language that allow little or no variation in form and often carry meanings which cannot be deduced from their individual components.
Translation strategy can be defined as the translator's plan in solving concrete translation problems in the framework of a concrete translation task. There are two aspects of translation strategy, such as the source text, which is going to be translated, and the method to translate it into target text. Baker proposed the following classification of idiom translation in some strategies. The first strategy is using an idiom of similar meaning and form. This strategy is applied in a way that the idiom in the target language conveys the same meaning with the idiom in the search language. For example, with open arms, and the translate is menerimaku dengan tangan terbuka. In Cambridge International Dictionary of Idioms, with open arm is defined as to be very pleased to see someone or to be very pleased with something new. Open conveys the literal meaning when it becomes the component of the idiom. Meanwhile, arms do not, since the idiom's meaning has nothing to do with arms as body parts in a literal sense. Therefore, with open arms can be classified as a semi-idiom because it has one component with literal meaning and another one component that carries non-literal meaning. The translators translates with open arms into dengan tangan terbuka in target text, which is equivalent in meaning and form. The second strategy is using an idiom of similar meaning but dissimilar form. There are several idioms in target language which do not have precise meaning to those in search language and consist of different lexical items. Therefore, different lexical items are used to express the idea of the search language in the target language. For the example, eating your words and the translate it, menjilat ludahmu sendiri. According to Oxford Dictionary of Idioms, eating your words means to retract what you have said. The literal meaning of each component of the idiom according to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, eat means to put food in mouth, chew it, and swallow it. Meanwhile, word is something that is said or a remark. Looking at the context, it cannot be perceived in a literal way because it will not make sense. On the other hand, word is still related to the meaning of the idiom, making it easy to comprehend and can be taken literally. If your words consist of one literal component and one figurative component, making it classified as a semi-idiom. The translation of eating your words in the target text, menjilat ludah sendiri, is also an idiom which has a similar meaning with the one in the source text. However, those idioms are dissimilar in form because if eating your words is translated literally or word by word, the meaning will be different. The third is translation by paraphrase. The match in target language cannot be found due to the differences in stylistic preferences of the source and target language. Therefore, the translator paraphrased the idiom in target text. For the example, pay an arm and a leg. The meaning of membayar banyak sekali. According to Oxford Dictionary of Idioms, this idiom means to pay a high price. Looking at the context and the meaning of the idiom, one of the idiom's components, pay, conveys a literal meaning. Meanwhile, it is different from the phrase an arm and a leg. This phrase conveys non-literal meaning because the meaning of the idiom is completely unrelated to arm and leg as body parts. Pay an arm and a leg fulfills the criteria of semi-idiom. Therefore, it can be classified as one. It is not an idiom, yet it roughly conveys the similar meaning to pay an arm and leg.
The next is translation by omission. Source text. Aunt Petunia let out a hair-raising shriek. Nothing this filthy had entered her house in living memory. Target text. Bibi Petunia mengeluarkan jeritan yang mendirikan bulu Roma. Belum pernah ada apapun yang sekotor ini memasuki rumahnya. Okay, this idioms is in living memory. According to Cambridge International Dictionary of Idioms, this idiom describes the meaning of an event or situation that can be remembered by people who are alive now. The context where this idiom is applied, each of the components of the idiom conveys the literal meaning. The meaning is perceived in a literal way and still makes sense. Both also deal with memory. Due to this reason, in living memory can be categorized as a literal idiom. The idiom in living memory is omitted in the target text, causing it to be classified into translation by omission. However, this omission does not affect in the context, and the sentence in the target text still makes sense. The translation still delivers a similar idea with the original one in the source text. The last is literal translation. Source text. However, it would be poor repayment if you risk your neck while staying with them. Target text. Maka sungguh kelewatan jika kau membalasnya dengan mempertaruhkan lehermu selama kau tinggal bersama mereka. Okay, this idiom in the source text is risk your neck, which according to Cambridge International Dictionary of Idiom means to do something very dangerous. Looking at the context, this idiom cannot be taken in a literal way because risk your neck does not literally mean putting your neck in danger. This idiom has nothing to do with the neck as the body part. Therefore, it can be said that risk your neck is pure idiom. The idiom is translated literally into mempertaruhkan lehermu in the target text. Even the form itself does not shift a bit. Mempertaruhkan lehermu is not an idiom in bahasa Indonesia. Thus, when it is translated literally, the meaning does not make sense. It can be translated with the second strategy, translation by using an idiom of similar meaning but dissimilar form into mempertaruhkan nyawa, risk your life, which mean to do something dangerous. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.